Hello, welcome to the Word Café podcast. This podcast has been designed with curated content that centers on the power of words. Can we really do anything without speaking? Can we really do anything without the agency of words? Yes, that is what this podcast is all about. And I am your host, Amakri Isoboye, your neighborhood word trader. I believe in the power of words, for it is the unit of creation. I trade in words to profit my world. Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good everything. How are you all doing? Beautiful. Yes, we're back. Did we ever leave? Somehow we did, but we're back. Yes, this is that space where we all come in to lean on one another's experience and what? Forge a positive path. Oh, yes. How are you spending the holidays? Beautiful. I know where you are. Maybe sunny, cold, and all that. Well, for where I am, it's been, hot and cold, the way I describe it. Yes, but it's been beautiful because we're spending so much time with family, friends, eating, and what have you. Yep. Okay, what are we going to be doing today? I'm so super excited because I have this amazing personality, who I describe as the queen of excellence. Yes, and that is what we will be talking about today. Excellence. But this individual has come to, understand this thing called excellence, and she's living it every single day of her life. Yes, her name is Bola Matel-Okoh, but she describes herself as BMO, Coach BMO. When she comes on, she will tell us much about herself and all that. Okay, I've been talking too much. I know you want to see her. I know you want to hear her voice. I also want to see her. And where is she? Coach BMO, how are you?
Hello. It's so good to be with you today.
Good to have you here today. Good to have you here today. I when I was thinking about how do I begin 2023, and all that, and I said, okay, I think it's time I bring Coach BMO. It's time I bring someone who understands excellence and who lives it, who breathes it, and all that. And I said, no, it's time to reach out to her. And honestly, I am super excited having you here. How are you?
I am so humbled. I am humbled. I am honored. And honestly,
thank you.
I'm just tickled to be on the Word Café. What can I say?
Thank you. So what's it like at your end? What's happening? I mean, the season of celebrations and all.
It's cool. It's been a busy 1 week for me. I feel like I've traveled. I've been in 2 continents over the space of 3 days.
Amazing.
So yes, Christmas went by in a breeze, and honestly, I really couldn't even relax to enjoy Christmas this year because I had a big project I was working on that was coming up. But, now I'm trying to exhale and relax and, get ready for the new year. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Looking at your profile, I'm going to allow you to tell us more about yourself. But looking at your profile, I come to see that, this lady has been within the legal space for almost, or if not more than 3 decades.
Yes.
And she's not looking it.
Oh my world! Yes.
She's not looking it. As in, you've been there for 1, 2, 3 decades and counting. Amazing. All right. So, who is Coach BMO? Let's get to meet her.
Okay, I have a way I describe myself. I kind of coined it just to be able to accommodate everything I do. So I always say that I'm a pastor by calling. I'm a lawyer by training. I'm a banker by default. I'm a podcaster by design. And I am the excellent life coach. Because those are all...
Can you take that again? Because it sounds like Saul of Tarsus talking,
So I am a pastor by calling. I've been a pastor now going on 30 plus years, thereabouts. Okay. So I'm a pastor by calling. I'm a lawyer by training. As you said before, I have been a lawyer for a while. I became a lawyer when I was 21. And believe it or not, I just turned 53.
So, but you don't look it, honestly. You don't.
Oh God, I get that a lot. I am 53. Trust me. I mean, if you see my children, you will know I'm old. So they are little giants, but they're big giants. So let me call them.
Yeah.
So I've been a lawyer too for 30 plus years. I'm a banker by default. People always find that so interesting. Why do you describe yourself as a banker by default?
Yeah, why do you? Go on.
Because, okay, I'm a lawyer by training, but 8 years ago, I was appointed as a non-executive director on the board of a bank. So I guess somewhat that makes me a banker by default, you know. So that's why I say banker by default. And then I'm a podcaster by design. Yes, I say that because podcasting was something I've always wanted to do. And then eventually I was able to get to do it actually this year in February when I started my own podcast, the Excellent Life podcast. And I have said this to you before, that you are really one of the people that, you know, encourage me in the podcasting business, because I see your consistency. I see your brilliance. I see how you know, get up and go every single week. And I'm really so encouraged by that. I've said that to you before, and I'm just saying it again so that your audience can know what an inspiration you've been even to people in this space also.
Thank you. Now, the word excellent, I'm going to begin from there. There's a way, honestly, like before we came on, I was telling you, there's a way, each time I hear you speak, there's a way you present yourself, you come across, not as someone insignificant, honestly, but very significant, as in you express yourself and the room has no choice but to listen to BMO, as in she has something to say, and it's always excellently presented. How did you come about? How did you discover this about yourself?
You know, it's so interesting you said that, because just a few days ago, you told me you were live when I had a program, and someone came up to me afterwards and said, I can never see you the same way again. That because you were just so confident, you were so articulate, you had command of the room. I know it's very interesting, because people say things about us ourselves that we might not even be totally aware of. But when I look at my life, I know that from a very young age, I wanted to stand out. You know, I wasn't satisfied with just being average. I wasn't even satisfied with being good. It was always about, I want to be great. And I write in, I talk about this in the podcast and also in the book, my book, that I just didn't want to be second. I didn't want to lose at anything. Whether it's musical chairs or it's a board game, you know, it's so interesting that a couple of weeks ago we were at an event, and they asked people to come out for musical chairs. And my husband said to me that as soon as he saw me got up, he was like, this girl is not going to lose this thing. I don't know. I think it's a bit of being competitive as also wanting always to be the best. But I did end up being the last woman standing, but it came at a cost, because the last person rammed my shoulder. So like I was saying, even something so simple as making my bed, I want to make it like, you know, they make it in the hotel. If you come into my kitchen, as I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, and my children are like, Mommy, but you know you're still cooking. But it's just that thing of wanting to have your best foot forward at any point in time, you know. So I ask myself, but I really feel like it's something that, you know, God just put in me, that I want to be the very best myself, and I want to be the very best at whatever I'm doing. That's really the best way I can describe, you know, living an excellent life. Yes.
Beautiful. And the truth is, I mean, it's not your fault. You don't have to apologize to anybody about it. You are only expressing that, would I say, architecture God has, you know, created about you, and it's like, this is who I am, you know, and I need to let the world know. And somehow the truth is, you're living your life, and people are just coming, as in they're being attracted to that thing you're putting out there, and they're just like, I want to be like, I desire what she has. I just want to be like her. I just want to, like, you know, get that thing also and become good at what I do. Now, recently, I know you've been busy, you know, like you said earlier, Christmas, you had little or no time to enjoy Christmas. You've been traveling and all that. I know you've been up and about your project. Tell us about your project, your book project. What's the title of the book again now? The
Excellent Life Series, Volume 1.
Excellent Life Series, yes, Volume 1. And you had a launch recently, and just share with us.
I did. I actually had 2 launches. I launched my coaching community called the Women's Lifestyle Hub, and then I launched the Excellent Life Series Volume 1. So one area of my life I actually didn't talk about when I introduced myself is the fact that I am a certified executive coach.
Yes.
And, yes. So I at some point in my journey this year, I decided I did want to be an executive coach, and I signed up with Gemstone Leadership Institute. I'm sure you know them very well.
Very well.
My own personal coach, Sir Fela Durotoye. So as an executive coach, I kind of was looking for a way to kind of express myself. I've always had a passion to build up women, to help them to be the very best version of themselves. Because even as a pastor, my passion is also to help people be, live to the best of their potential. I think one of the things that really my pet peeves is when I see mediocrity. I feel like as a child of God is excellent, and He has created you excellently. And I always tell my children this: you have no excuse to be mediocre.
No.
In anything you do. So the Women's Lifestyle Hub is basically a platform connecting women, connecting mentors, particularly executive women, because really I've had the opportunity to coach some executive women, and I've seen them firsthand, the challenges they go through. And so it's really an opportunity to connect them with mentors and also fellow executives, so that we can build an army of women who are excelling in their personal and their professional lives. Women, I believe, they say it's a man's world. A woman has to work twice as hard, pardon me, to get where So, and I think in trying to do that, we kind of overdo it, and we kind of have other areas of our life suffer. I'm very on work-life balance, because I understand that, being a wife, being a mother, being somebody who is always chasing one dream or the other, if you're not very careful, you can get to a place where you put all your attention towards one area of your life, and then the other areas of your life are suffering. So Women's Lifestyle Hub is really to a community of women where we can share the challenges we're going through. We can build one another up. We have a couple of mentors. So that was really what I was going to do primarily. And then in the midst of trying to launch this community of women, someone sent me a WhatsApp message and was like, "Oh, I just listened to one of the episodes of your podcast, and I just thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if you had a book and just put all these episodes of the podcast into that book?" Yeah. So I don't know whether to say I made the mistake of mentioning it to my coach, Sir FD, and as soon as I said, he was like, "PB, we're gonna do both of them together," and I'm like, "No." Because literally, I had to do this book in 2 months, because this was back in October. I'm like, yes, we're going to do it. So I have the Excellent Life Series, Volume 1.
Volume 1.
Which is really a compilation of all the solo episodes of the podcast I did in Season 1, 10 episodes.
Yeah.
We were trying to do all the episodes, but it was just not going to be ready. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me do my solo episodes. So the plan is that Volume 2 would be all my guest episodes. And I've had some really incredible guests. So I'm looking forward to working on that in the new year. So
beautiful. Being around your coach, Sir, we call him Sir Fela Durotoye. Yes, Sir FD. Don't say anything. Don't say anything that he knows that this thing is possible, because you will not have that peace until that thing is done.
Yes.
And seeing this now, honestly, I am super, super excited, because I've been following your podcast too. I mean, I listened to it, your guest and what have you, even the solo episodes and all that. Like I said earlier, you've discovered something, and you're just leaving. You're like he would say, you're being, as in you just become. That's what is happening. And so at this point, the truth is, there's no going back. You've done volume 1, volume 2 needs to come, and volume 3 will follow.
Volume 4, yes.
And that's how. So now let's talk about a little bit about the hub for women. Is it? How do we get involved? Is it a virtual thing? Is it on site? How do we get it? Do we need to register? Do we need to pay for it? Let's get to hear more about it.
We don't say pay in our community. We say invest. It's an investment.
Invest. Thank you. You see, I just, you got the words. I mean, it's not paying, you're investing now.
It's an investment. I was saying that during the presentation at the launch, that many times people will say, oh, how much is something going to cost me? And the moment you think about that word cost, in your mind, you're thinking about, I'm losing something. When you recalculate and think about something as an investment, your mindset changes, because because when you think about investment, it's something that will yield fruit or yield result. Yeah. So that's why I don't like to use the word cost. I use the word investment. So basically, this is the structure of Women's Lifestyle Hub. Right now, we have 10 mentors, and these are people like Ibukwa Woshika, Pastor Nkoyorapu, Tara Durofela.
TFD for short. Go ahead.
Mrs. Bolake Shanu, Toyin Bakari. We have some great mentors. So the way the work is that it's 2 levels. We have what we call the 6-week leadership induction program, which is really what you need to do to get into the hub. Why do we have that? Because in Women's Lifestyle Hub, our vision is to raise leaders, female leaders. And so that's why we want you to go through that 6-week leadership induction program, where you learn about being the best leader that you can be. You learn about understanding yourself. Because one thing I've gotten to find out as a coach is that a lot of people don't really, when we do all this personality test, it really creates a lot of self-awareness because people really understand, oh, this is my personality type, this is why I'm inclined to behave in a particular way. And then we can now start to talk about, so how can we kind of reboot your mind, as it were, so that you can be the very best version of yourself. In the 6th week, we also talk about power play. Women, in the workplace, we have to be able to understand how to handle power, whether we're relating to people, above us, we're relating to people on the same level, or even people that we are leading ourselves. It's a delicate balance of trying to manage the power. So we talk about managing the power play. Then we also talk about your corporate look. And I said to them that, a lot of women, as career women, we don't honestly look the way we want to be received, because whether we like it or not, they say first impressions are very important. So the way people see you is very important. I have a corporate brand person that started working with me on this journey of being an executive coach. And people look at all my big photographs and they're like, oh my God, I'm like, yeah, because I have a brand person. So we want to be able to have women, take advantage of that. She's actually working together with us in the Women's Lifestyle Hub, and be able to have the corporate persona that they really desire to have. And then we talk about work-life balance, which is really my passion. We want people to have a balanced life. We don't want people to just be great executives and not be good moms. I was talking to my coach one day, and he was talking about how, some children, they have mommy daycare because their mom are always only there at a particular point in time. So we want to make sure that as women, executive women, we have balanced life. And the last thing we will do is, fun and relaxation. I'm very big on, I work hard, but I also say my mantra is play harder, not even play hard, play harder. So, we're going to have a lot of fun and, enjoyment, relaxation. And then when we get to the hub is a monthly subscription thing. We have so many activities in the hub. We have what we call our monthly power sessions, where we have one of our mentors come in and talk to us about the topic for the month, because every month we have a running theme for the month. We have what we call monthly club takeover. I say that a lot of communities I belong to, the only club you see is book club. So Women's Lifestyle Club, we have things like cooking club, we have lifestyle club, we have travel club. Someone said to me the other day, why don't we have a golf club? So the whole idea is to have a balanced life, monthly club takeover. So every month, the club of the month will kind of talk about, what they do within the club. If it's the travel club, what are the destinations they want to recommend? There are so many great places to visit, but people don't know about them. So we have that. We have member spotlight, which is an opportunity to be able to spotlight and get to know each other together within the orb. We have our annual retreat, which honestly I'm looking forward to. We already started planning our annual retreat for next year, which is of course where we all get away and go and have some fun. And then we also have a couple more things I'm trying. So the other thing is that being an executive coach and being part of a coaching community, we identified 10 areas where we believe the executive woman may need coaching at any point in time. So what we've tried to do is, pull together a pool of coaches and get a special rate for the coach for women within the hub. So, there's really a lot of stuff happening within the Women's Lifestyle Hub, and I'm so excited about it.
Beautiful. Now, is it going to be located in one, should I say, geographically speaking, at one location, maybe like Lagos? So let's understand the spread. How does it work?
A lot of the, if COVID has taught us anything, we can do things all over the world. So right now, the structure of the hub is that a lot of things are virtual, but some of it will be physical, depending on the convenience. For instance, if we had, we are going to have virtual karaoke. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to. But for instance, a lot of people, obviously, that have shown interest in the hub are in Lagos, they're in Nigeria. So one of the things we're doing with the hub is that before the end of next year, we will have a physical clubhouse. That's one of the things we're working on. So with the physical clubhouse, it's really strictly for members of the Women's Lifestyle Hub, and we would have a fitness center, we would have a spa, we would have meeting rooms. So people can take advantage of that. So, but also for people who are not concentrated in any particular location, there are things that they would also be able to enjoy as members of the hub. But the hub is by no means, restricted to any particular geographical location, because we do understand that because of what we've been through in the last 2 years, there's a lot of things that we can do virtually. So we intend to do that. And for those who are not in the same geographical spread, if you cannot come to the spa in Lagos, we can arrange for you to go to the spa. There are spas all over the place. So it's really, you will not suffer any disadvantage from not being in the same geographical area as bulk of people within the hub. So
beautiful. Now, listening to you come across as somebody who takes on huge challenges, and somehow you don't back down, as in you don't back down like a bulldog that gets you get your teeth and something. No, I'm not letting go on that kick. Now, how did you go about all of this? How
did I go about it? Actually, I said that I was telling them about how the value of having a coach. And I said, 2 years ago, I did not have a coach. I have 4 coaches now. And one of my coaches is actually Coach Bemi Fasisi, who I think
the monetization queen.
She actually was the one that came up with the structure of Women's Lifestyle Hub. And I remember saying to Sir FD in one of our coaching sessions that the moment she planted that seed in my head, I woke up every day excited about it. And the more I thought about it, the more I was so passionate about it. And I guess this, I don't know if it's the competitive thing or the excellent thing. I don't like to do things in a subpar manner. So I started to put all my energy towards it. And on when we had the lunch on Monday, and everybody was like, oh my God, it was like everything just reflected excellence. And I was just laughing. I'm like, you guys know how many sleepless nights I had over this. In fact, the day before, my coach had to give me a pep talk because I was like, oh my God, what would happen if yet tomorrow? What if nobody shows up? What if I mess up my presentation? And I was like, just breathe, So, breathe. But I think it's just this thing about just wanting to stand out,
Yeah.
So, and it's so interesting because that presentation, I've watched it over like 2 times, and every time I watch it, I'm like, I can't remember half of the things I said, but it was an amazing presentation.
I know that feeling.
I was thinking to myself, I said, why were you nervous to start with,
But actually, the way Beyonce says it,
yeah,
she's nervous when she's not nervous.
True. Yes.
She's nervous when she's not nervous because for crying out loud, you're human. That's the truth. Absolutely. When you stand there, you just, not that you just have to be nervous, but the truth is it kicks in. But when you take hold of yourself and you drive on that energy,
the energy, yes.
And it just goes all the way. Because I did follow that. I mean, the launch, though I was somewhere else, but I was watching and listening. It was beautiful. Even after you presented, when Sir FD came on and the rest of them and all that, I was like, wow, this is beautiful. You're like that. These are the kind of moments you say, I wish I was a woman now just to be part of this.
It's so interesting because, at some point during the launch ceremony, men were like, no, now you guys, come on,
cut us some slack here too now.
Exclude us from all of this. So we did come to a compromise, especially with the clubhouse.
All right.
Once I started talking about the clubhouse, they were like, no, have back. So we said, okay, maybe we'll have a situation where once a month we will allow men into the clubhouse.
Come with your spouse or something.
Oh yes, maybe we'll be very very lenient and allow them into the clubhouse. Yes,
beautiful.
But like someone said, do you know how many men's club you have? There's so many club that
but we understand. So many men's club out there. But when women come to do something, you understand. It comes with this. It's better. Let's accept it. It's better. And I would encourage women out there, those listening, go ahead, search for BMO.
Yeah, and I have a website. If you go on my website, bolamatel-okoh.com, you will get all the information about the Women's Lifestyle Hub. If you follow me on Instagram, Bola Matel-Okoh, on my link bio, all the information is there. We've already started getting, some people saying they want to join the first, because we're kicking off actually in February.
Okay.
When we start the 6-week induction program, because that's really how you get into the hub. So we are kicking off the 1st of February. So we're so excited about that. We already had a meeting today with my team, just trying to get ready for that. So yes, we are not resting.
Beautiful.
We're not resting, yeah.
Good. So. Now you kept mentioning work-life balance, work-life balance, which tells me she's very much intentional about family life, in as much as she's busy with work and all that. Now, tell me the support system you have in achieving all of this with respect to your husband, your children, and all of that.
Yeah.
If you don't mind to share that with us.
Absolutely. So, anybody who knows me is that family is very important to me. And, it's so interesting because I have a 28-year-old going on 29. I have a 26-year-old, and my little one, you will see why, just on 21. And it's so interesting because I'm so big on family life. And my 2 oldest actually have been at home. They just moved out just this year in March. And I remember always thinking to myself, my friends would say to me that, why can't what are you doing to your children that they don't want to move out? And I'm like, God sees my heart, nothing. But I think what it is that God also knew that family was very important to me.
Yeah.
And I remember when they first said to me they were going to move out, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But but when they now moved out, I realized, oh my God, it was time. I mean, they were 27 and 25 when they moved out, So, but I said to them at the time they said they were going to move out, I said, okay, no problem, but this is what we're going to do. There are 3 times of the year that I still want us to be together as a family. So we have our annual vacation, and we did that in August. Even though they had moved out, we all went on vacation in August. I said Thanksgiving, so they came home Thanksgiving, and Christmas we were all together for Christmas. So beautiful. Because for me it's very important that base of having the support of my family is so important to me. And even for the launch, I remember when we're trying to think of when to do it, and Saidi was like, why don't we do it in January just to kick off the year? And I said, well, I want to do it in December, because it's very important for me, for all of my family to be there. And I was going to do it in Nigeria. And I know normally we all are in Nigeria for Christmas. So that's very important to me. And I'm sure if you watched the launch, you would have heard my husband also talk, because I understand how important it is for me to have his support. So I try not to do anything without, knowing that I have his support. Because I remember I had a session with my coach, and it was like, okay, what kind of support is important for you to be able to do something like this? And I said, of course, I have to have my husband's support, and I have to have my children's support. And one of the things that was really very touching for me at the ceremony was when he spoke, and I could sense, the pride that he had in what I was trying to do. And he also said to everyone that, look, I've always had given this woman the opportunity and the room to fly and, do what she knows how to do best. So that really keeps me very grounded. I remember when I first was appointed as a director on the board of Wema Bank, and I used to travel, do the shuttle quite a bit. And I remember that when I came back home, the first thing I would do was call every member of my family, send them a text, give me a date that works for you, that we're just going to go out, just not all of us as a family. So I would come back, and then I would go to dinner with my husband, just try and catch up with him by himself. Then each one of my children, I would schedule a time to go out with them. They would pick the restaurant, they would pick when they wanted to go. Just, okay, so mom's been away, let's catch up. So those are all the things that, honestly, I find is very, very important. That gives you a good, grounded and rounded life. I was coaching an executive the other day, and she was talking about how busy she is. And I said, have you ever called your children and asked them how they feel about how busy you are and how they feel it impacts their lives? And she said, no. I said, can you do that for me as an assignment? And the next session we had, she was almost in tears. She was like, she couldn't believe what our children were saying to her about how she doesn't have time for them, or she does this work, and she was like, wow. So she had to kind of pull back at that point and kind of change things around and make it more intentional, spending time with them. So I think for me, one of the things that's helped me to achieve that work-life balance is a lot of intentionality. There has to be a lot of intentionality to it, because if not, sometime in May of this year, I just really was feeling so spent. And so I called my husband, like, I'm shutting it down. And he said, what do you mean? I said, I'm going away. So I went away for 3 days. I left my laptop at home. I left my phones at home. I told my office, you will not be able to reach me for 3 days. And the only people that could reach me were my husband and my children, because I have a phone that nobody knows that number, only for emergencies. So they had that number in case they needed to reach me. And I was out for 3 days. And the world did not come to an end, because if we're not careful, we have things, everyone's pulling at you, and you're giving out so much of yourself. And, at the end of the day, you are spent. So, So, and then of course I'm a pastor, and so my faith also keeps me grounded, because I always say that there's 8 different areas of your life where you have to have balance. We as coaches, we know about the wheel of life. I remember I was going through the wheel of life with my coach, And it was like, she was laughing, and she was like, she's never seen someone with this kind of balanced will. And I said, but it takes a lot of intentionality, you know. So, you know, I pay attention to my family, my faith, you know, even my health. You know, people always say I'm aging backwards. I'm like, it takes a lot of it. It's because I'm very conscious. I'm very particular about what I eat. I'm very particular about, you know, putting in some minimal exercise. So it's all about intentionality in being able to achieve the balance that, you know, you need for your life.
I hear you say things don't just happen. People make things happen.
People make things happen. Absolutely. Yes.
You don't just sit down and wish and all that. But listen, when you think these things, you move. You make that, you could call it minimal effort, but you come to see that grace comes upon it and multiplies it.
Absolutely.
And that's what I hear from what you're saying. And the truth is, if you're happy, I mean, if your family is happy, you are happy.
Absolutely.
You
because at
so
the end
much.
of the day, I say that a lot of people work hard, but at the end of the day, they have nobody to share the fruit of their labors with. Because
What
if
a shame.
you work so hard, you want to be attain a particular position, what good is it when you attain that position and there's nobody to share it with? You know,
what a shame.
It's hollow and it's empty. You know, and I find that for me, for every milestone in my life I've accomplished, the first people I want to share it with is my family. You know, and that's honestly was very, very important for me on Monday, for my husband to be there, my children to be there, and they were all there. Because for me, that made it all the more sweeter. You know, the fact that I could share that moment with my husband and my children. So yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Guys, we've been discussing with Coach BMO. I call her the queen of excellence. You will agree with me. The way she's been dishing out, you know, this, what I call them nuggets and life points. You will agree with me.
Like my coach would say, life secrets, yes.
Life secrets, exactly.
Well, it's not a secret. If you get the Excellent Life Series Volume 1, it's all there. So the secret is out.
It's out there.
It's out. Yes.
Amazing. Now, I'm going to ask you one or two questions before I let you go. You've been using the word coach, and coach, you know, like throughout this conversation.
Yeah.
Now, and you don't like the word cost, is investment. Obviously, you've done so. I mean, you've invested so much in coaching and all that. I mean, is it worth it? Share with us. Let's see, because certain people just like, this coach thing, I beg.
I was saying to them that at the lunch that, you know, being a coach has really made me a better person, my children would tell you, a better mom, because I'm not talking at the top of my voice, because one of the things coaching does is that you're very intentional, you're very calm, because you cannot be rattled and try to help people get clarity. So there is value in coaching. Like I said, I have 4 coaches now, and it's an investment I've made in myself. I always say that if you're not willing to invest in yourself, who is going to invest in you? So when we talk about coaching, it's about investing in yourself, and there is so much, you know, fruit. Because I remember I told the story about how when I first started my journey as an executive coach, and I would talk about coaching to my husband, and he would kind of just roll his eyes in this very skeptical manner. I remember one day we were trying to walk through some issues, and I said to myself, sweetheart, come sit down, let me coach you now. I'm a coach, for crying out loud. Let me make my money today and try and bring some coaching perspective to this situation. And you know, we had a very calm and very fruitful deliberation. And I remember after that deliberation, he looked at me and he said, maybe this coaching thing really does work after all. And he now said to me that I think I'll be willing to meet your coach. And I ended up introducing him to my coach, and they've actually, you know, developed a relationship outside of me. So that just tells you the value of coaching, you know. And also said that when I became an executive coach, my middle son, said to me, Mom, I'm so proud of you that at 53, you're still chasing your dreams, and I'm actually inspired. And I remember saying to him at the program that the fact that he said, I inspired him, was also inspiration for me. And I think for me, one of the best parts of being an executive coach was actually having an opportunity to coach my own son. He actually gave the testimonial because called his dad and I one day, and he was kind of just talking about some challenges that he was going through at work. And of course, my husband is also a pastor, and his first instinct was to like, David, don't worry, we'll pray, with that, trying to cancel him, which is fine. And, he was about to get off the phone, and I said, but wait a minute, do you realize your mom is an executive coach? And this is really the kind of things that I coach people on. And it was like, I remember it was like, almost like, are you serious, Mom? I'm like, yeah. So I said, okay, this is what we'll do. So I had my EA schedule a coaching session for him. And, initially I was like, okay, is this for real? And honestly, I did not treat him like my son. It was a proper coaching session. It was on Zoom. It was recorded. Okay. I sent him the form ahead of time that I normally send. So for me, that I could even give value to my own son from my coaching experience, So, I mean, it's just been a while. And I remember saying to my husband that if this is the only reason that I became an executive coach, it's worth it. Just to be able to give value even to my own son, So,
beautiful. Yes. Beautiful. Amazing. When you see the return on investment, I mean, it's obvious. It's like, come on, this is a testimonial. This is why I do what I do. Yes. So if you want to know why I have this number of coaches around me, what did you see around me? What do you see about my life? That's why I have them, and the generation we're in, the truth is we need a lot of coaching. As in absolutely. A good number of us, we need a lot of coaching and to see things and understand them and appreciate them and move forward. Yes. My last question for this session, it's 2023. What are we expecting from you? Yes, you've told us one or two things about the Women's Life Hub and all that, but what else are we expecting?
2023, I'm believing God for a career move in some space that I'm not at liberty to talk about now, but I prophetically have declared 2023 as my year of manifestation. And it's very interesting because the other day I received a prophecy, and the prophecy was talking about how, it's like everything that's been cooking, it's getting ready to manifest. And some people will be like, okay, please, what else can be cooking? It seems like everything has been cooking, but I know what that prophecy was speaking to. So I am looking forward to 2023 with a lot of anticipation, a lot of expectation, and Women's Lifestyle Hub is going into full launch. And then also the podcast is coming back, because what I did with the podcast was that I kind of went on a little hiatus because I kind of knew I was going to be busy trying to launch Women's Lifestyle Hub and also really just to take a break. So I'm excited. The Excellent Life podcast will be coming back in February, and I have some great guests lined up, including yours truly. So
it will be an honor.
I'm looking forward to that. So yes, I'm just looking forward to. I mean, I'm thankful for life.
Beautiful.
Looking forward to a great and rewarding 2023.
Amazing. And so shall it be, guys. We've been discussing with the Queen of Excellence, Coach PMO. Yes. And she's told us where to catch her. Please go ahead, follow her, listen to her, her story, her testimonials, and what have you. Yeah. You will not regret it one bit. But you know how it is, we do it on the show. Time is always not a friend when we come to that part where we're discussing something very juicy. But,
I know, it feels like we've been talking for like 10 minutes. This time.
It feels that way.
But you know what, they say, time flies when you're having fun. So
that is the truth. It does.
Fun, honestly.
Thank you.
So much fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. I just want to say a very big thank you for honoring us with your presence and sharing with us your story, within this space. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much. Oh, yes.
Thank you.
We have come to that point of the show where we need to say goodbye. But we are not leaving you. We are only changing form, so to say. Till we come your way again. Bye for now. Yeah, but what do you have to say?
Oh, bye. I wish you all a wonderful and prosperous 2023. May 2023 surpass your every expectation. In Jesus' name. And it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yes.
Amen.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. It's really been
You're welcome.
Yes. All right.
Awesome time it has been with you on the Word Café podcast today. Thank you for being there. You can catch me up on my social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all at Amakri Isoboye. Also, you can get copies of my books, A Cocktail of Words, The Color of Words, and my HR notebook on Amazon and on Robin Heights online bookstores. You can also subscribe to my YouTube page at the same address. Yes, till we see you again. Bye for now.